Have you ever looked at how many settings there are for Facebook business pages? Wow! In this Facebook business page settings tutorial, I'm going to walk you through them so you know which ones are important to pay attention to, as well as which ones you can ignore. All right? Let's get into it. What's up, busy people? Welcome to 5-Minute Social Media, where we help business owners attract more paying clients using the world's simplest social media strategies. So if you want to grow your business faster with social media, take a second, hit subscribe, click that bell. That way you'll be notified each week when we release another helpful video. My name is Jerry Potter. Yes, it rhymes with the boy wizard. And in this Facebook business page settings tutorial, I'm going to walk you through all of the different important settings so you know which ones are important and which ones you can ignore. Now, I am doing this on my Facebook business page. They look a little different depending on your industry, sometimes the page category, and where you are in the world. So if yours looks a little different and I don't cover something, feel free to ask me your question down in the comments. So from your business page, first you want to click Settings at the top, just for anyone who's not already there. And because there are so many settings in here, I'm going to go very quickly through some, and others I'll slow down when they're more important. But that's the great thing about recorded video tutorials, is you can pause and rewind as much as you need. So starting here, we're on the General tab. So everything here is part of that General tab. Page visibility, this is whether your page is published or not. Visitor posts is where you determine if you're going to allow other people to post on your page or not. If you want to have a little more control over things, then you can click this box to review posts by other people before they're published to the page. Or if you don't want people to post at all, you can just disable everything. I always say leave things open until you have a problem, because when you start locking things down in sort of a censoring way, you're losing some of your authenticity. Post and story sharing is where you decide if people can share your posts to their page and their stories, and generally as a business, that's something you'd want, right? And you can choose separately between letting them share your posts and events versus letting them share your page's story if you are posting to Facebook business page stories. Audience optimization for posts. This gives you the ability to sort of do some targeting and some restrictions when you put up certain posts, but it's never really worked that well. Messages, whether or not people can contact your page with the message button. Generally, you're going to want to leave that turned on unless you're a page where you're not going to reply to messages. Better that people can't message you than that they can message you and then you don't reply. Tagging ability. This is whether or not people can tag your photos. So let's say you put up a photo of an event and somebody wanted to tag themselves or a friend in the photo, you'd want to turn that on. So I'm going to actually turn that on. This, again, in my mind, falls under the rules of don't overly restrict it unless it becomes a problem. Others tagging the page, this is checked by default. You probably want to leave it checked. The way I see it working is somebody says, looking for recommendations about something on Facebook. Then their best friend recommends your business. You want that friend to be able to tag your business page in their post. So I always leave this on. Right below that, if somebody shares an Instagram story where they mention your business on Instagram, and then when they share the story to Facebook, you want it to also link to your Facebook business page, check that. Now, this only applies if you have a business profile or a creator profile and it's linked to your business page. Country restrictions, you can either hide your page from certain countries or you can only show it to people in certain countries. Age restrictions, if your content is not appropriate to everybody, you can add an age restriction here. I strongly recommend it if you are a company like an alcohol company, because if you put something up and, for example, boost it, and it gets boosted to people that are underage, to minors, they will shut down your ad account. Page moderation, if you ever wanted to block posts or comments containing the following words, you could do that. So it could be profane words, it could be a name of your competitor, I guess. It just means if somebody does comment using one of those, then an admin gets to see it before it goes up. If you've got a lot of them or you're bringing them from another page, you can upload a CSV file as well. Again, I leave this stuff empty until I have a reason to add it. Profanity filter, if you want to make sure that anything with profanity gets blocked, then you can do that. I like to have mine on medium to start. Choose whether your page is recommended to others. Of course, why wouldn't you want that unless you're hiding something? Page updates. This is one that it's different for everybody, but basically when you update your phone number, update your hours, different things like that, when you have a brand new page, you'll see a lot of them like this. So if you don't want a post to go up when you do that, then you just uncheck that box. And that's what I usually do. Posts in multiple languages. This is something that Facebook allows now. So if you have a bilingual audience, you can check that, and then it will actually allow you to put up a post, for example, in English and in Spanish or French. Translate automatically. Facebook will automatically translate your post when it's available. I always just leave that checked. Comment ranking. This is going to show most relevant comments by default, but if you uncheck that, instead it'll show comments in order. The advantage of having most relevant comments is if somebody sees a comment they enjoy, they're more likely to keep reading the comments and keep engaging with your post. So for example, if you have a comment already on your post that has a bunch of likes and reactions and replies, that's more likely to get shown. More importantly, if there's a comment on your post from somebody they know, then they're more likely to see that. And I'm certainly interested. Like if a post gets my attention and then my friend comments on it, I want to see what they said. So I always leave that checked. Content distribution, I don't know the full legal ramifications of this, but as a video creator who earns his living partially by paid videos, I always say prohibit downloading. You'll notice it was off by default. Download page. This is if you wanted to download everything that Facebook has from your page. Merging duplicate pages. This is basically a link to where if you had more than one business page and you're an admin on both of them and they have similar names, they'll let you merge them. And then if you want to remove or delete your page, it goes right down there. Back here at the top, next up is page info. This is the same information that's under your about page on the front, but you can also change it here. Messaging. First one is whether or not you want to be able to send messages by hitting return. So that's helpful if you send a lot of short, quick messages. But if you send longer messages, sometimes you want to be able to break them up into paragraphs. Below that is starting a messenger conversation. They used to have a frequently asked questions tool here, which is really neat. And I will show you what that looks like where they moved it to under automated responses. Below that, starting a messenger conversation, you can show a greeting. So I'm going to turn that on. And then there's a default one there. Basically, you can have a greeting when somebody goes to message you on your page. So the default says hi and then the name. Thanks for getting in touch with us on Messenger. Please send us any questions you may have. So this can be whatever you want. And then personalization, that's where the name is there. So you could have first name, last name, full name, Facebook page link, or website. So for mine, first, I'm going to not have the full name because I feel like that's kind of awkward. Hello, Jerry Potter. So I'm going to have hi, first name by itself. And then you want to make sure you get the spacing right there. So I'm going to take out that space before the exclamation point. Then I'm going to say, feel free to learn more on our website. I'll go with that, put that personalization in there. So it's pulling it right from your information on your page. And feel free to send any questions here. So once I've got it the way I want it, I go ahead and hit save. Next up, set up automated responses. This is also in the same place as what we skipped above, and I will come back to that. And then finally, if you have a lot of different people on your team responding in Messenger, you can turn this on, and then even though it's the company messaging, they can also see who the person is that's messaging. Next up on the left is templates and tabs, and I've got a full tutorial about this that I've linked to in the description of this video. But basically, this is where you choose your page type. And the one thing I want to show you for sure in here is down below, you can put things in any order that you want, and this is how they show up on your page. So you can see I have reviews, posts, videos. You see here on my menu, reviews, posts, videos. So you can drag and drop these in the order that you want them. You can also turn certain ones off. For example, if I didn't want to show reviews, I can turn off my reviews right there. You can't turn off everything. Some of them are required, but certain ones you can turn off. Event ticketing, if you use Eventbrite for events, you can do some stuff there. I'm not going to go into that in this video. Notifications. It can be overwhelming how many notifications you can get if you have an active page. Like, hey, active page, good thing. Too many notifications, stressful and overwhelming. So the main ones that I set up, I don't want text messages for notifications. I don't want to get an email every time there is activity on my page. I just want to get a notification here. And then I turn off new likes on page post, new followers of page, and new shares on page posts. The rest of them I leave on because I think those are important. But the fewer notifications you can get and still keep up with your page, the better. Advanced messaging, if you had a messenger bot or some advanced customer service features through third-party tools, this is where those would be set up. Facebook badges, you can turn them on. I don't really use them, but this is a new page I'm optimizing, so why not? I'll turn them on. I have talked to people that do engage, and they keep engaging because they like having this top fan badge. So anything that helps people engage more is just fine with me. Page roles is where you add and remove admins and other roles. The one thing I want to mention here, don't ever make anybody else an admin unless you trust them implicitly. Because if they are an admin, they can remove you and kick you off your own page, and you will have a really hard time getting your page back. So just make anyone an editor unless you trust them 100%. That being said, I do suggest getting somebody else to be an admin on every business page, even if it's your significant other or your mom or somebody. That way, for some reason, if your profile ever got compromised, shut down, anything like that, they could still add you back in. People and other pages, this is where you see the people that like your page as well as other pages. This is also where you can block people if you need to. So you could ban them from the page right here if, unfortunately, you had to do that for some reason. So I checked the box and I did that. I've got a whole tutorial about how to block people from Facebook business pages, and I've linked to that down in the description as well. Preferred page audience, as you can see, is not even a thing anymore. This is just in case you're advertising for potentially controversial things. You have to go through a few more steps in Facebook Business Manager, not really part of what we're doing here. Branded content actually takes you to an external link, and that's where influencers set up deals with companies. Instagram, this is one that you might use. It's really tricky sometimes to connect your Instagram account to your Facebook business page from Instagram. It's a really buggy process, but if you do it from the Facebook side, it almost always works. WhatsApp, if you use WhatsApp for your business, you can connect it there. If you have liked other pages as your business page, you can then add featured likes and they'll be displayed on your page. So for example, a business partner, another company, or another brand you might own, you could do that here. Cross-posting is where you can actually share videos with other pages. So for example, if you had a video that was relevant to two different pages, you could post it on both pages and the views would be cumulative. So if each page got 500 views, it would show 1,000 views. Page support inbox is just where Facebook will get back to you if you contact them with a problem. Page management history is just what it says. But I do want to show you those automated responses that we talked about. Remember, we saw this when we were under messaging settings. Go to automated responses. You can also get here by clicking inbox at the top of your business page and then automated responses here on the left. So let me show you this because there's some really great stuff that you can have in here. So an away message you can have. So if somebody sends you a message and you don't respond very quickly, you can actually have an away message that might say, hey, I respond to messages between 9 and 5. If it's outside of those hours, someone will get back to you within one business day. Or, hey, we're not very responsive to messages here, but feel free to call us if you have an urgent question, or email us at this email. You can make it anything you want. You can use the personalization like we did in that other setting, and you can actually have it on and off at certain times. So it might only pop up during your non-business hours. Below that is instant reply. It's a little bit different than the away message. The away message is specifically for the hours you're not available. The instant reply is a greeting everybody would get. Next up, questions for potential customers. This isn't one that I use, but if you are trying to pre-qualify people, or let's say that you're, I don't know, an oil change place, then you might say, like the example here, what type of service can we help you with? Short answer. When would you like the service done? Options, best phone number to call you at. So you could sort of automate some of this stuff and set it up in here. This is just like many different types of survey software where you can go through and customize this exactly the way that you want. Next up is contact information. This is a way for you to send people to other places instead of keeping them here in Facebook Messenger. Location, if you have a location and address on your page, then you can set it up so if somebody asks about the location, it provides them that. Frequently asked questions. This is one that I like. I don't have this set up here on my new page yet, but let me jump over to my old page and show you. So when somebody goes to send you a message, these frequently asked questions will pop up, and you can make these whatever you want. So for me, I've set it up. So the first one, do you have a course about social media? That's a question I get a lot. And I have this response. As I do, it's called da-da-da-da. And then they have a button where they can click to learn more. Next up, do you offer one-on-one coaching? I have an answer to that, as well as a button where they can learn more about my group coaching program. And then the third one I have is what's your favorite ice cream flavor? That's just there for fun. But sometimes people are on your page, they want more information, they don't know what to ask. Then you can kind of suggest things that they could ask, ideally, that will lead to them becoming your customer or client. All right, we made it to the last two settings that I want to show you. These are newer, but really cool if you use them in the right way. One, page recommended. So you can turn that on, and then as soon as somebody recommends your page to someone, you can send them a thank you note. So you can see the default, "Hi, thanks for recommending us. We're glad you had a great experience." And then you could go through, you can add an image or a video, all kinds of stuff that you can do here. So that's kind of neat. You can also do that personalization where you could include their name. So, and then the other one is if the page is not recommended, you can see the default answer here. "Hi, we're sorry you had a bad experience. Please let us know how we can improve." I prefer, because I work with fewer clients overall, to reply to these personally as opposed to in an automated way. But this is a really cool way to automate some of that and acknowledge the feedback that people are giving you, whether it's good or bad. The good news about business page settings is usually you can set them and then you don't have to think about them anymore. But there are, of course, a lot of things that do take up our time on social media. So if you'd like my free guide, 6 ways to cut your social media workload in half, grab it by clicking on the screen here, or if you don't see the link, you can get it in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching 5 Minute Social Media, supporting me and my 2 tiny superheroes at home.